Hello, everybody. I'm going to start this off with, thanks for clicking. Some people want to be told this stuff. Other people want to figure it out for themselves. So as you grow through life, you'll find that there's wisdom all around you. There's knowledge all around. Some of it's good. Some of it leads you down the wrong path. I really like this guy's channel. His name is Wise Disciple, obviously. He wants to become wise and he wants to be a disciple. That's typically a disciple of Christ, which is a good thing. A lot of people think it's a bad thing, especially God's adversary, which this is going to all be about, is God and his adversary. And, does God enjoy a challenge? What I've found is most people do not want to know this deeper knowledge, all this stuff, the hidden meaning of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. This guy obviously has gotten, only 3 days, 190,000 views. So where I might not get any views, or maybe 1, 2, or 3, since you clicked on this video, I'm really kind of proud of you that you do want to know the difference between good and evil, why we're on this earth, why did God create us? Because it's kind of obvious. God created us. So this guy wants to know also, which awesome. If we really want true knowledge, the Bible is the book of books. Here's a Bible here. Is the Bible important? It is the book of books. And here we go. In what way is the Bible unique? So the Bible does tell you a lot of stories about good and evil, because we can learn from the misfortunes of others. So if you're looking around, you can see the Bible is all over the internet. Sometimes it's leading you to a good understanding. Other times it's not. So BCI connects human senses. So we're trying to figure it out by ourselves. This doesn't look like we're connecting to the mind of God. This poor guy's going through a lot of problems. And here's another thing here, another video, Be Dangerously Valuable, which has probably got a lot of good things in it. But unless you understand why we are dangerously valuable to the world that was here before we got here, and this big battle on earth, once we do know who's culpable, and that's a number one thing that's found in this book. On almost every page, you find who's culpable for the problems, and who's got the answer. God, Christ, and His Son. The devil, the number one angel, is culpable, and that is the misdirection. That's the word I'm looking for. The misdirection anybody in an argument will do is try to misdirect you. If you're arguing, you do have the answer. So this is a good video because it starts with two people of the opposite opinion. This girl's named Jezebel Vibes, so she's obviously questioning God. She probably went to church. Maybe she's homeschooled. Who knows? Because once you start reading the Adam and Eve story, most people have the questions what she comes up with. Why didn't God make the tree of knowledge of good and evil unappealing? Because what I'm going to hopefully talk about is that this is a whole game between God and Satan. It's a whole game. It's a whole strategic. If God didn't make it appealing, this whole story wouldn't come about. God couldn't show His love through the most interesting murder mystery, because essentially that is what this book is all about. It's about a murder mystery. It's like, why did God let His own people murder His only begotten Son, who has the answer and brought it to mankind? Over thousands of years, this book, I do believe, is it now 6,000 years old? And there are principles that go through go through the whole thing, the hidden meaning, how it started, how it ends. So awesome, because when you get to the end of the book, shows you how it ends. It's a whole battle between good and evil, right and wrong. God wants us to know right and wrong because there was no evil beforehand. There was no evil. So how would you know what evil is if you don't know what it is? There's number one angel did something evil, wanted to take over the king, take over God's position. And this whole book is the battle of Satan justifying why he's correct in what he's done, challenging God's position, wanting to take over God's position, and then being found out that's not a very wise thing to do, is we need God. God made the devil. The devil's trying to usurp his own wisdom. And he got together a political roundabout, a political entourage just to try to convince everybody else, all the creatures up there, hey, get on my side and we'll prove God's wrong and incompetent, and he's the ogre for not letting us be who we really can be. And then in the conclusion of this video, we can be dangerously valuable against God by rebelling against him, siding with the devil, saying that God, I don't want to serve a God or worship a God that is not going to let me wander off on a leash. Just cut the leash, God. I don't want to be leashed to you. I want to go do my own thing. What this is once we become, we know that we desire a leash from God, we are dangerously valuable. We're a danger to the culpable one. We're a danger. We're a danger to the knowledge that Satan is wrong, and that we are valuable to God because he wants us to help him judge the angels. That's in Paul's book. It's revealed in Paul's book. He never gets to Paul's books, but you can't tell the whole story in an hour or less. He tried to do it in 37 minutes. I've been studying the Bible now for over 60 years, and he's been giving me answers slowly. Doesn't want to give it to us all at one time, but this has really helped, a one-year study Bible, which shows you how all these books and concepts relate in the Bible from the beginning to the end, because in 1 year, it'll take you through the whole Bible, but it doesn't get you bogged down in Leviticus. I do wish that it did have Romans through Philemon read every single day, but you probably have to do that on your own. But this Bible will show you a little bit of different parts of the Bible every single day. You could start in the middle of the year. You just go to the page, whatever the date is. It's a one-year study Bible that I guess May, you go to, if it's May, go to May. And you can see here that I've gone through this several times. I've read the Bible all the way through at least 10 times. And these concepts come through, and these repeating patterns. I've got notes, just tons of notes that I've taken. I've got paid suitcase full of notes. This through the Bible is full of notes that I've taken. And it's all around this concept that, again, I agree with this guy whose video I'm going to kind of critique a little bit. But once you see this stuff, it's hard to unsee it. It's all over the place. The choice of fruits, Adam and Eve, no faith. All these things are such good topics to study that it's like a never-ending story. And once we get to heaven, we're going to be learning more and more and more about it. And one other thing I just remembered is that in Paul's epistles, it says that we are here to show the manifold wisdom of God to the onlooking parties. And there are angels, good angels and bad angels, that are looking at us. And just look at Satan. He's probably one of the best Bible students ever, because he's like a shady lawyer looking for loopholes, looking for ways that God is wrong and that he's right. So to truly see these things, you do have to read the Bible. You can look on the internet for other people trying to prove God. I just watched a whole video about science and religion trying to prove God. They never came to a conclusion. They kept looking at the boson particle through the Large Hadron Collider. They're trying to blow up these particles to understand what's holding them together. But I really appreciate this guy. He's saying once you see these concepts, these concepts are all throughout on every page. There's a path to rebellion and the path to redemption. And sometimes they're both on the same page. Sometimes they're a little bit hard to understand, like the Song of Solomon. I know that's kind of a love story between a man and a woman. And they say that it's between us and Christ, which other well-meaning ministers have said, every page is a love story to us. I don't know. I don't think every page is a love story to us. We've got to be disciplined and look to God for the answer. And I'm trying to discipline this little girl. She does some things that are natural, wanting to chew on things. And, she's off leash right now, but when we go outside, she goes on a leash. I don't want to have to micromanage her every moment of the day. And I don't think God wants to micromanage us. He wants to be our friend, to have fellowship with us. But I'm so happy to see her autonomously enjoying her life through all her different adventures in our house here. And I liken it a lot to our relationship with God. I'm pretty sure he thinks we're beautiful creatures, and he really loves it when we come to him and ask him for his knowledge, which is the essence of what this 37-minute video is that God wants us to not seek our own knowledge, although that is a possibility. It's exactly what this girl's worried about right here, old Jezebel vibes. And how many views did she get? So she got more views than the wise disciple got. And this is 3 years old. This other guy's video is only 3 days old. So I think he's going to catch up. And I'm glad you clicked on this video. Very few people are interested in this. And maybe it's your time to learn. Maybe you've clicked off already. I mean, obviously, that's kind of a stupid thing to say, because I really hate it when people say, if you're still listening to this video right now, well, kind of obvious, right? I mean, just think about that statement. But old Jezebel vibes, thank God he didn't strike her dead when she thought this thought. She's going to break down the story of Adam and Eve as told through whatever, and hear it when she's talking. Why didn't God make the tree unappealing and just live in the Garden of Eden? Perfect scenario in the Garden of Eden. That's what most people think after they read about the experienced life and then read the Garden of Eden. It's like, well, God made it a utopia and it went wrong, it went haywire. Yeah, that was his plan from the beginning. I've heard a minister say, when I get up to heaven and I see Adam, because he has no belly button, because he was created. When I see Adam, I'm going to punch him in the mouth. Isn't that stupid? When you understand God's plan is to have all this happen, all these knowledge and books, and he really wants us to come to him and ask him, even though he is invisible. He's not imaginary, because somebody had to create this universe. Right, girl? Somebody had to create us. Who created you, little girl? So I'm going to leave it here in this silliness of talking to my cat. But click on the next video. I'm going to go through this, what this guy said about actually what they said. They got some good points. Very good points. Okay, thanks for watching.